Aloha, YouTube investors. How is everybody doing today? My name is David Yansen. Welcome to my channel. Today is October the 16th. It is Friday. The weekend is about to begin. Here I am in Hawaii, so it is only 1:30 p.m. But we are looking at my Robinhood portfolio today, and we are going to look at a couple of different companies. One that I am going to talk more than the others. But first, you can see all time since June 13 of last year, my portfolio is just a little bit above 8%. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really does help support the channel, and I really do appreciate it. Like the video if you find it informative, and feel free to share with your family and friends as well. So, looking at all time with this portfolio, it was very volatile. If you haven't seen my previous videos, this portfolio for me was created not to intentionally be volatile, but it was created more as a growth portfolio. I have a Roth IRA with M1 Finance, and I also have an individual account with Fidelity. So if you check my playlist, you will see my playlist is very organized with Robinhood, M1 Finance, and Fidelity all broken down, as well as my dividend tracker video, which I will be dropping later on today. And that video I do every single week, showing what my dividend payments are for every single year. So at the end of 2020, and all the way estimated what my dividend payment will be all the way out to 2044. So you can check that video. It also gives a complete view of how much I actually have invested in the stock market of all of my brokerages combined, and shows you what my total gains is for the week as well too. So and then you can just check the other videos if you like for Webull and Doe Finance and SoFi Invest if you'd like. And if you want some free stocks, there are links in the description for you to click on and get some free stocks. So for the day, I did show this briefly at the beginning of the video. My portfolio did end in the red just a little bit. After hours trading, which I believe is just about finished, I am up. Well, it just jumped to 75 cents, 24.92.75. So it just went up again. So after I was trading in the green just a little bit, I do have a little bit of money in buying power. I did add to, who did I add to? Oh, I added to Siri XM Radio here this week. I added one more share. So my average cost is up to $4.03. This was my free stock with Robinhood. So if you aren't using Robinhood, there is a link in the description for you to get a free stock to sign up. This was my free one, and then I bought 2 more shares. So my return is amazing with it, mainly just because one of the shares is free. And there is good forecasts with SiriusXM Radio now, projecting them to start trading at about $7 per share, which is right around where they are. They are a good company. They have a really, really good balance sheet, and their service is a subscription-based service, so people pay every single month to use SiriusXM Radio. And with car sales going up, and with people more or less likely to take public transportation, there might be a better opportunity for SiriusXM Radio for people to sign up for their service. So hopefully, personally, I hope that their stock gets to like $10, but $7 I'm pretty happy with. So another company that I'm going to talk about intensely here in just a moment here, but just to look at what happened with some of my other holdings for this week, or for the day, I'm sorry. And then very quickly here, we will look at all time. So all time by percentage, not too much red. Of course, NIO is my highest return. I'm going to buy 1 or 2 more shares. It is really high. I wanted to add when it was at $12. I should have added 2 or 3 more shares, or maybe even 5 shares when it was at trading around $12, $15. But I got in so low at this $4.45 that I didn't want to leave that number. But I don't have a lot of money, and I don't make a lot of money, so I'm buying mainly fractional shares in all 3 of my main portfolios here. And it's only these stocks that are trading, basically $10 or less that I will buy a full share with. So, but NIO now is projecting off of a JP Morgan Chase analyst that they will be trading at $40 a share. So I think if I buy 2, if it takes a dip next week down to like $20, which that's a far drop, but if it drops down to like $20 in the next week or 2, I'm probably going to jump into it. Or maybe I'll just do a fractional share buy and just put another $20 in, just to kind of drop this down a little bit, and also to give me some better gains when the company does approach that $40 plus mark, which I personally believe that they will. And I said it in previous videos that I think that they could be the number 2 company underneath Tesla when it comes to EVs in the country of China. So the other company that I wanted to talk about in a little bit more detail here today, as you look at my other gains and losses for other companies. Before we get into Fastly, International Airline Group here, I am now at 8 shares because I was paid a dividend, which I had thought that this company had suspended their dividend. But I was paid a dividend of $4.25 because I owned this on 10/8. I own 7 shares as of 10/8, October 8th. And so I was paid $4.25 in dividend. And because I have DRIP, dividend reinvestment, enabled for Robinhood, I don't for my other brokerages, but I do for Robinhood, it purchased automatically for me 1.7 shares at a price of $2.50. So that now puts my holdings up to $8.70, and I will do a video more about this company, as somebody requested that in a previous video. They wanted to know a little bit more about International Airline Group. So, and I do talk about why I chose Hawaiian Airlines and this company as the 2 airlines that I wanted to invest in versus other U.S. domestic airlines or other international airlines. You can see those videos in the playlist as well too. So, but very quickly here about Fastly. I know the stock dropped big time this week on news that because TikTok is their biggest, it is said that TikTok is their biggest client, and they they reduced their, why did I say repeal? I'm not a judge or anything. Anyway, they reduced their forecast from like $73 million to like $70 million. So, and companies like this that are kind of profitable, kind of not profitable, depending on what metrics you look at, sometimes they tend to move more on news, whether the news is good or bad, based on what the company actually is doing. And that's why a lot of people try to stress the valuation of a company. So I personally went in on this company. There was an article that I read at one time that talked about them having a pretty decent balance sheet. Recently here, I just found an article in Yahoo Finance that was from August 10th that talked about how their balance sheet is pretty good. So they're actually sitting at about, they're over $360 million in cash, almost $364 million in net cash. And that is enough for them to have to be able to pay down their debt if they need to. So that is one of the reasons why I looked at them. I look more at cash flow and revenue than I do other things, because cash flow will actually allow them to pay down their debt as long as it's not ridiculous high. You know, if it's not like $100 billion or $50 billion or something like that. And their debt isn't that high. Like their debt, I think, is like $20 million. So, and I think that's down. I think their debt was at $20 million at like in June or July. It was sometime this summer. I'm not entirely sure. So I do like them because of their balance sheet, and I am trying to do a future-proof portfolio. So Fastly, if you aren't aware, you can go to their website and you can see some of the companies that they've done case studies with. But what Fastly does is they do real-time live updates to your website or to your app. So Yelp is one of the companies that's listed on their website, and they talk about how as soon as a review for a restaurant is posted on Yelp, in seconds it is updated into that app. And that is helpful for the consumer. So I like these companies that are benefiting the consumer, because personally myself, if I go to research something online and the most recent information is from a month ago, I'm kind of like, there's a lot that could have happened in that month. So I'm a little bit more skeptical about it. And if you are a foodie person, if you travel a lot, and Hawaii is a huge tourism state, people are looking at Yelp and other apps and websites to find reviews, not just on restaurants, but on activities to do. And when I have traveled to other countries, whether it was in Asia or Central America, or Europe, I checked Yelp, because I wanted to know who was the company that was busted for, serving rats or whatever, or who was the company that took their people out on a tour and it was a sunset sail and the boat sunk, So when you get lifetime updated information, to me, that is future proof. And so that is one of the reasons why I like Fastly, and I do like their balance sheet as of now. When their earnings report comes out, of course, I will reevaluate them again, as I do most of my holdings, especially in my Robinhood portfolio. I will almost always review most of my holdings here, just because a lot of them are based on capital gains, and in my opinion, they're kind of risky. So for me, Fastly is a risky investment. Norwegian Cruise Line is kind of a risky investment for me. I know for other people they're laughing, but that's risk for me. So NIO is risk for me. International Airline Group is risk for me. I don't see Hawaiian Airlines, Starbucks, or Stag Industrial as risky, neither Facebook or Amazon. But this is my barbell approach to investing, where my other two portfolios are dividend Fortune 500 blue chip companies with Fidelity and M1 Finance. Robinhood is the opposite side of that. For me, it's a little bit more risky just because I'm in my 40s. But I do want to stay relevant, so owning companies like Shopify, that's up and coming, now added to the Dow Industrial Average, Fastly, Square, NIO, this keeps me a little bit more relevant. I don't feel that I need to push all my money into value companies or Fortune 500 companies, even though there are a ton of great ones. Costco is a huge growth company. MasterCard is a good growth company, as well as Facebook and Amazon and Netflix as well too. But this is kind of how I chose it. I do hope that you subscribe to the channel and share with your family and friends. Have a great weekend, everybody. Mahalo and aloha.